Coe, right by the old Liner gas station.
All right, Bobby, thanks. Dr. Linda Cash joins us yesterday, and I invited Dr. Cash in last week, I believe, but yesterday, Dr. Cash, Governor Bill Lee announced a special session of the General Assembly for Monday, January the 27th, to address the Education Freedom Act, which his office describes as aimed to expand school choice through Education Freedom Scholarship, boost public school funding, and increase starting teacher pay. But I invited you in to talk about this entire issue.
Well, I'm going to start by saying that the public school system, specifically, I'm speaking on, our area, Bradley, Cleveland, the extending area really in the southeast are, bar none, the best schools that you will find. So when you start referencing school choice, I think you need to be clarifying what school choice is. Is it school choice of public schools? That's not the governor's definition. His is including private schools. But I'm a proponent that with strong public schools, your community gets better, your economics get better, and you are raising the bar for everyone. The governor has been very good to us. He really has. He's supported CTE. He's done a lot of good things for the state. This is one I wish he would take a second look at. And I say that because in the public school system, we serve everybody. So it comes in. So if he really wants to start comparing, the private school sector to the public school sector, then you need to pick out the demographics and compare it demographic to demographic, because you get a different look when you have let's just say your top 10 in every high school, your top 20% in every high school. That's typically what you are going to see at most private schools. So it's interesting to watch how this unfolds. I'm not going to use the word school choice. I'm going to use the word voucher, because that is what it is. It is a payment for education to those who are not in public schools. So I start by saying, public schools are strong. And we're here to say, if you want to come and visit our public schools, contact us. We will bring you in. We won't put on a dog and pony show. We'll show you what we do every day. And when I look at the side of what the voucher is, school choice, whatever, he continues to say, that the ones that are out there are already working because parents are satisfied. Well, if we're only graded on parent satisfaction, I'm 100% sure that all of our parents, for the most part, at least 90% of them, which is what the governor's referencing, are very satisfied with their schools. And it becomes a community. Your schools are communities, and they function within that demographic. So our parents are satisfied, and they're happy. Are all of them 100% happy? No, but I'm not sure you find that anywhere. Again, I look at it very differently than the governor looks at it. I look at it, if you've got excess money in the budget, let's not miss an opportunity to shore up our public schools. And now I'm going to turn it over to you, because I've got lots, and I don't want to just butt in.
You're just fine. Dr. Linda Cash is the director of Bradley County Schools. We've also invited, by the way, Dr. Jeff Elliott. He's going to join us next week about this. And again, the special session was announced by the governor yesterday for January 27th. Let me just say what this is. So in the press release that we, along with the media around the state, received, the governor's release says that the the Education Freedom Act aims to expand school choice through these scholarships, but it also says boost public school funding. I know, and increase starting teacher pay. I know that the fear, as we've read and heard all around the state from public school officials like yourself and others, one of the big concerns obviously is the lack of funding, or that funding will go from public to private. What do you make of this as part of this press release that they want, or as part of the governor's plan, they want to boost public school funding and increase starting teacher pay?
Well, I'm going to start by saying each one of those should be separate. It is very hard to really look at what the purpose of a bill is if it has all of these different components in it. So if I am a proponent of voucher school choice, then I should be strong enough to say, I'm going to run this on its own and it's going to stand because it is the best thing. If you are looking for public schools, then you look for long-term ranges. I know that there's a portion in there that says that the public school funding will not go down. As a taxpayer, and the system that we're in, so if we're going to maintain what's there currently in there, even if we drop economically, you're continuing to flow that money, but it also compounds itself because it's recurring money. And I think there needs to be a deep dive into the financial pieces of it. I know there's $144 million set aside for 20,000 seats, and then it's supposed to expand after that. I can't quote the number of students that are already in private schools, but that money would be on top of as you grow and move. So you're looking at, for lack of a balloon payment. It's going to continue to grow, and so you're never going to be able to rein that in. I am not saying that I am 100% against vouchers, because I do believe the system that is in place now that targets low-income families, it has the opportunity to really help some kids that need a different place to be. We're very fortunate in our area. All of our schools are strong. We support our families. We go above and beyond in any way that we can. I know that there are situations where that doesn't happen. So the plan that's out there now that targets a family of four making, I think it's $88,000 a year, and which is a lot of money. But that is on the poverty level, and then a family of five, I think it's in the 90s. Those families, if they are truly needing a different place, I do believe we have an opportunity to do that. But I will also say $7,900. That's not enough if you're really going to help those families, because on top of that tuition, you now have transportation. Most of the time, you've got school uniforms and lunch. Most of our families right now are in school systems that lunch is a benefit. It's paid for. So I think if you unravel this, it sounds good and it looks good, but I would tell you that you can't compete with public schools and what we provide for families. I am not a proponent of expanding this, but I would tell the governor, even if I sat down and talked to him, you've got something already in place that has limits on it. That's what I would recommend.
Dr. Linda Cash joins us. Final word here. We do know the Bradley County Commission is going to be discussing this. They're not meeting Monday because of Dr. King's birthday, but Tuesday. Your final thought, your thoughts on the commission, Bradley County Commission, what they're talking about, and then also just your final thought on this. Put a bow on it here.
If I had to put a bow on it, I would say please do not expand this to universal vouchers. I think you need to take a hard look at the financial side of it and the impact across the state. I want families to feel good about where they are, but I don't think this is the solution. My recommendation was to be looking at your public schools and saying, what do you really need, and putting funding in the public schools and the monitoring. We are checked, double checked. There are so many things in place that we have to report. If you choose to go this way, then it should be equal. You should be having to do the same testing, the same audits, everything that public school. If you're using public money, you should be responsible for that as well. With the commission, I am very proud to say that they support us and support public schools. I think they have concerns about the funding as years go by and how that affects local funding. So I want to thank my teachers, my administrators, my families for supporting all of the public schools in the Bradley Cleveland area. It's a privilege to work in this area. It's a privilege to be in public schools.
Dr. Linda Cash, Director of Bradley County Schools, will be watching this very closely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. All right, coming up, our friends from First Baptist Cleveland.